Hey, how's it going? Yep, everything looks to be good. I got a new stand, so if audio sounds weird, just let me know. I'm gonna try to keep it a little bit more focused on right in front of my face so that we get good, clear audio coming in. I might even have to change some of the settings so it's like the positioning and things like that, because sometimes it gets weird if I move my face around too much, but we'll figure it out. Cool. All right, so today we're going to be focusing on OEE again, and it's going to be, I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit. Trying some new service for music today. It's approved by Twitch as far as music that can go in the background, so we'll see how it goes. But we're focusing on availability today of the OEE metrics. I got chat coming back through, got a couple things fixed with my streaming OBS. We'll see how things work out today. So we'll just go ahead and get started here. And if you have any questions or want to see anything, just drop the questions in the chat. We'll go through it. Maybe we'll figure it out, maybe we won't, or we can set it up for maybe a next time stream. So let's have some fun today. So since the last stream, some of the things that I focused on was I noticed I had couple of, I say issues, but I have things I needed to fix. So I've got timestamp here, and I wanted to set up to inject once on initial. So once it like restarts it automatically, and then every interval after 1 minute, it automatically repopulates everything. So currently the state of these, let's say, uptime calculators is got a couple issues, things that we need to kind of think about. For one, we're only looking at the last 3 days, and we really need to be looking at the shifts. So we're going to be doing some SQL statements to basically pull out and make sure that we're looking at the right shift schedule. So we'll have to be doing some thinking there so that we pull out all the time frames. And really what I want to look at this from the starting point is, what is the current status of my OEE, what's happening right now. I'm going to be a little bit less focused on what's happening in history, but those are things that we can pull out because we will have that data to be able to do. But for now, keeping it simple, let's just capture the data. Let's focus on probably the SQL statement here to make sure we're just pulling out the correct information. Instead of interval of 3 days, we want to pull out a shift schedule or starting point. So we're gonna have to do some changes there. Again, not a SQL perfectionist or anything close to that. Can figure it out. We might spend some time in there and figure out how we need to change this up. So with that being said, let's get started. All right, so let's get Beaver up so you can kind of see what we've got here. Come on, give me that. All right. So we are focused from line 1. This is what our SQL statement is, and what we need to do is change it from current timestamp, and really not necessarily current timestamp, to 3 days prior to. What we want to do is change the Unix timestamp, or even just drop this variable in here, if I'm understanding correctly. We just need to drop that here, make sure it's right time formatting, and go from there. So let's see what we need to write to extract that timestamp from our file, which is our shift schedule. So let's go get that. Let's grab the shift schedule. We'll probably use a template node to basically drop the variable here into this statement, and we'll go from there. Cool. So let's go over here. This is quality data, and the next thing we have is shift schedule. If you have any questions about what's going on, essentially what I've got is essentially a bash, I've got a Python script, and the whole thought of this is basically wherever I am, if I want to update shift schedule, I could just essentially send this file over, loads it into the production, because the people that are going to be setting up the shift schedule are probably going to be working from, let's say, something like Excel, to basically bring that information out. So maybe that's what we'll do right now is see how we can. I'm not going to focus on building the script, or what I'm saying, building the shift schedule, but maybe we'll do some cleaning up some of things to make our life a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and see if file folder. I think I might have Excel on this. Yes, perfect. Okay. And I might open up a new tab. And let's just copy this over for right now. Move this over here so I'm not like looking across my whole body. Drop that right there. Perfect. And I'm gonna paste that here. See this a little bit better. And what I'm going to try to do is automatically create these kind of epoch times. So I'm going to have to do some Excel wizardry here. And let's just put some dates in there and go from there. So do that. Let me pull up a calendar on one of my other screens. Perfect. Okay. So today is the 7th, and what we'll do is we'll do this week's schedule. So we got. We'll have to figure out how it likes this timestamp, and we'll have to convert it over. So we'll do that here. So we'll say start time shift in time. Okay. And what we're gonna say is equal. Let's just try to figure out what time structure we need to put this in. Till time structure. All right, we'll just try to type it in. We'll do. We're 12, but I say the 4th / 23 7. And we'll see how this it likes this date format. Filter no. Number, and we're going to change this to. What the difference between long and short? And now I want to convert. Move this back over here right now. So converts. Excel convert time to. Perfect. That seems pretty straightforward. Let's see how it works out. And it's gonna be this one. Oh, did not like that value. Date. So my guess is that this timestamp is not acceptable. let's copy this and see if it can think that it is right. And we'll do one more. Call this 6 and see if it can iterate. And if it can iterate, that's going to be the meaning that it probably is smart enough, but it's not iterating. I don't want to create a custom time date format. Let's just test this out and see if it is able. It's not adjusting it. All right. So I feel like this just should be so simple. I'm just testing this out to see how this works with my chat real quick. Okay, there we go. Linktree. There you go. Control semicolon. Okay. That's interesting. After pressing, you'll be able to activate the cell in edit mode. Press enter. Okay. So I need to do Control Shift and okay. Let's see how it likes that. Okay, cool. That looks a lot better. Custom, we'll do long. Oh, short date. Nope. Let's do long date. Okay. I don't like that one. More number of formats. And we're going to do, I like just simple like that. Perfect. Okay. And we're going to say this is the 4th. Perfect. And then at, oh, you know what it was? I didn't have seconds in there. That's why I didn't like it. 07 a.m. We're going to just copy these real quick because these are all going to be 7 a.m. So we got 5. We're just going to do the shift schedule for this week. And then once we kind of extrapolate that, it should be pretty straightforward because you can put in future shift schedules as well. And these are all for shift 1. And in time, see if we can just extrapolate this down. Oh, beautiful. Thank you, beautiful Excel. Okay. Now we're going to copy this one. And we're going to say it is. Give me the right time, yeah. I'm going to say 7 p.m. We'll just make it our lives easier for this. We can change that later. And beautiful, beautiful. And this is all shift 1. So I'm trying to think of how I could do this to. So I had multiple shifts. wonder, let's just see how smart Excel is real quick. So if I say copy this, actually copy this to here and copy this to here, that would be shift 2. What I'm gonna see is if I can make it smart where I don't have to do this, and that would, because that would be painful if I had to do this every single time. That's not going to be the fun thing. If you basically what I'm trying to do is just create a shift schedule real quick. So I'm going to copy this and see if it can extrapolate that down. Nope. Okay. So let's just undo everything that we did here. How do I add 12 hours? Okay, I just want the answer. I don't want to read your life story. I'm sure it's just like a simple like equals this plus hour. No. I looked at that one. Probably has their answer in there, but there we go. Let's do 12:00:00 and no. You know what it is? Nope. We're gonna find all the wrong ways to do it before we find the right way to do it. To display more than 24 hours, time format. We need to just have that format. And we want this one right here. Perfect. So we want this plus this. And this the next day. Perfect. Okay. So and in this formula, we just need to do $. So when I do this, okay, and then this goes all the way down. Okay. And then if I do this, let's see if that does. Nope. 1, 2, 1, 2. We're just going to keep this as about as simple as it gets. Should probably start at the top. And this will work to kind of get you your base, and then if you ever have to... What? Okay. There we go. All right. So now we have, let's say, the shift schedule for the next rest of the month. Let's actually see if we can just drop this down the rest of the way. Beautiful. Okay. So now I want to convert this to me, that means it's working, but it's like too big, right? Let's just see if it's gotten. Copy that, save that. Okay. We probably need to change this format to probably just needs to be numbers. Okay. Times. Ah. Right. Wrong way. Okay. And what we're gonna do is essentially gonna create how to convert. We'll just keep it simple, but go all the way down. Probably should just do all these simultaneously, except for instead of one at a time. Over here now. Beautiful. Okay. We now will take this, and what we'll do is we'll just copy this over to, let's get it to the number, because we actually, you know what? We're just going to copy this all the way down so we've got it. We don't have to worry about it for a while. And get all of this. It's probably going to yell at me because it is a CSV file. And what we'll do is you paste, and the key is to paste values. You do not want to paste the formulas, you want to paste the values. And so that when you save it as a CSV file, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna bark at me? Okay, so it looks like we're good. So now when I run this file upload, clear this out, make it look a little bit better. Python run. Cool. So and what I just did is if I come back over here and I just loaded my shift schedule into this. So if we come over to debug, yeah, we should see all of this data was just dumped into, so you can see that debug. Turn that off. We'll just do modified flows. And now we've pushed all that data into our SQL database. We can confirm that. Let's just do that right now. So if I come over here to shift schedule and refresh, there we go. All of our data is in here. Which is weird that it's somehow there's some timing and it does one, then another one, then skips. Interesting. That's okay. Okay, so now I have to write a pretty interesting query that says beginning at my what is the most recent shift? So I'd probably want to sort by time and then look at my most recent shift start time by looking back. That'll be interesting. I hope maybe there's some SQL people in the chat that's going to be excited to help me out with that one, but I'm pretty sure we'll figure it out. But definitely it's going to be. All right. So let's just stay over here and let's try to work on a query that just pulls out that. I don't think we need this anymore. Let's just delete some of the stuff that we don't need. Simulated curl for Windows PC. No, we don't need that anymore. I think this was all testing for shift schedule. Yep, we don't need that anymore. So shift schedule. So we are going to copy this now. Let's come over and we're going to copy that one too. I'm going to actually look at line production because that's the database. Terrible name, but it is what it is. Set message topic. So we're going to come over here and we're going to copy this message topic right now because it's more in line with what we're trying to do. Schedule set message topic to this. done deploy. Drop an inject node in here. Then we're going to drop a debug node. Pull this over just a smidge. So, perfect. I don't want this data creation anymore. Is that over here? Yeah. All right. So we're going to be looking at L1 shift schedule. L1 underscore shift schedule. And we don't need a match or machine ID and timestamp. But we do need to look at start time. Oh, you know what that is? That's my updated shifts. That's what that is over there, just going off. Okay. So we don't need to worry about where machine ID, but we do need to worry about where timestamp. Hours. So we're going to find the Unix timestamp of what is greater than or equal to this one. It's probably you almost need an AND statement. With the same Unix timestamp as all of this except for now. So current timestamp minus 12 hours. We're just going to delete that. So, and it is, and oh, really need to just type this over here and build it out. Can you guys read that? Is that really tiny, or do I need to like increase my screen size? Or timestamp or start time. Start time is greater than or equal to, and start time is less than. And basically what I want, start time is less than. Okay, so just copy all of this. Okay, did not like that. Let's run it again to see what it says. All right, details. So I know this worked the other day. Just gonna run it over here. Okay, error. You have an error in your SQL manual. Hours. Maybe it's not hours. It's hour. Let's see what it says on this one over here. Availability. Timestamp. Day. Yep. I need to turn and take the S away. That's what my problem is. Hour. And done. Deploy. Clear it. Okay, so we're empty, but we're running. That's good. So let's just run it over here, see what we get. I mean, I'm assuming it's probably going to be the same thing, but I just want to see that. Okay. No. I wonder if I could do 13 hours. Just out of curiosity. Because I want to be able to just expand it so I start seeing something. No, it's empty still. Let's look at the data real quick. So I got messages coming from. I'll look at it later. Yeah. So I gotta figure out why my SQL statement is not working. Because that's fundamentally the same thing that we're doing over here, is select where machine ID and timestamp is Unix current timestamp in the pass interval of minus 12 hours times this. And that is giving me all the result sets for that particular time frame. Because what I want to get result back is the start time and the end time variable that I can use. Let's just double check our variables to make sure that we got the right where start time is from L1 shift schedule. L1 shift schedule where start time is greater than or equal to the Unix current time stamp minus interval of 13 hour times start time. Let's just delete the rest of this real quick. Leaving the semicolon. And let's just see if we get something with that. Before we get ahead of ourselves. Okay, it's still empty. Okay. That means there's something wrong in the original. Okay. Let's look at this other one real quick. Where machine ID and timestamp I'm thinking our time stamped right there is a much bigger number. So that's got 1, 2, 3, 4 commas. 4 commas. All right. And we got 3 commas. All right, let's go back and remove that 1,000. Actually, we probably should adjust it in the Excel spreadsheet. Let's do that. Equals this times 1,000. Is that right? And I really want to just keep all of the, because these are mil, so 1,000. Yeah, perfect. That's what my issue is. So time 1,000. Now I'll take that. Say times. I know I could do it just by putting it right there, but I don't want to. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Right, let's go to the very top. All right. And we will extrapolate this all the way down to the bottom. Boop. Then we will copy this, go back to original page. We will paste this. We will paste the values and nope, that is definitely not what we want. Okay, we need to make sure we just try this again. Okay. Save. Let's now upload that file again. And beautiful. Now let's come over here. We'll delete all of this. And Boom. That's good. That's what we wanted to see. Now we just need to fix this because of the part that I deleted. All right, so where's start time? Copy that. And come on. And we don't need this part. Unix timestamp, current timestamp times 1,000, and it is less than or equal to, and I'm going to change this back to 12 hours. Done. Deploy. Let's clear it. Run it. And we get the current shift schedule back. Boom. Boom. Okay. That makes me excited. It's when things just work out. After finding out all the ways not to do it right the first time, we're getting there. I haven't done too many happy dances in a while, so I'll have to break out some happy dances here in a little bit. But all right, so we really don't need this here. What we want to do, let's just group it together. Group selection, and we'll just say test return shift turn current shift. Okay. And what we'll do is we do now want to just export it because we're going to take this code and incorporate it into our shift schedule, because we really only want to pull out the current shift's production rate and how they're doing. So we're going to export JSON. Mike, excuse me for that belch. Copied clipboard. And we're going to go over to availability. We do have some other things we got to fix here too. And we're going to import variables, import. So we're going to just kind of group this here. Group section. We do not need this timestamp anymore. We do need that. We do need to grab it from the line production. We do not need that. And then we're going to set up a template node. And we need a template node just yet. We might need a template node in place of that. But for now, yeah, we need a template node. And we're going to copy this here. Paste this in here. And we're going to set this to topic. And output this as plain text. And what we need to fill in here is okay. It's almost exactly the same. Did I even? I don't think I saved that, did I? Let's just save this real quick. Whoa. Save that. And then kind of want to just take all of this and we're just going to reference it once we're in here. Hide that so we have a little bit more real estate real quick. And so we're going to select from line 1 where machine ID is 1 and timestamp is greater or equal to what are we trying to grab right now? Trying to grab its current metrics. Okay, so we really just, because we shouldn't have any future production right now, so we really just need start time. What should I do? Start time? Sorry about that. Had to go on mute. About coughed intensely in your ear. I don't think anybody here would have enjoyed that. So, done. And we may not need that anymore here in a second because we've wrong. So when I run this, it actually should have already run. We'll push it. Okay. It did something, but I don't think it did the right thing. Let's just go to that, run it again. Unclosed tag at 73. Okay, so let's see where that error is. I think that's right there. Unclosed tag at 73. There we go. I'll worry about that in a second. Figure it out. Okay, invalid JSON nada. Let's see where this data. Okay, this object. Running time. Okay, so are we not getting any data currently? I wonder if my SQL database is up and running. Yeah, my SQL fun is running. That's right, because duh, beaver. Let's refresh this and see what we get. This is shift schedule. Okay, yep, there's every 10 seconds we're going to be popping in that information. That's great. How's it doing the timestamp? Okay, it's pulling the timestamp. Okay. Let's look at that timestamp right there. And look at our availability. Shift schedule. Yeah, those look in match. I don't have anything that looks too off there. $701. Well, 701.96. Okay. All right, so we're within the range there. So that means there's probably something else. Let's drop some debug nodes in here. We got data coming in. We don't need to see that over here anymore. For now, I don't really care to see these much right now. So we'll deploy those. And I want to see if I'm getting any data here. Oh, no, not that one. Oh, wow. That's a cool trick. Okay. So, okay, vals. Object, start time. So we're getting the start time the way we expect it. I think I'm sending this thing to the wrong spot, maybe. Yeah. So oh, topic. That's awfully quiet in here today. Okay, so it looks like the template can't find it, so we're just gonna paste that there. I wonder how that works, because payload is usually not having it identified here. So I might have to fix some change nodes, maybe. Yeah, okay, so we'll drop a change node because we can't exactly capture this where we expect it to be. So the answer is the way templates work. Actually, it needs to go before this. So we're going to drop this down here. Put a template node here. And where it says this path, set payload. And that. We're going to call this payload.start. Actually, we're doing template node. We don't want to do a template node. We want to do a change node. Because we should always try to do things other than, you know, function nodes, then template nodes. Those should be your last options for the most part. Message payload. Done. And then from here, we should then have start time because it assumes it's in the payload. probably things that I could do to say that it's okay to do it that way. But right now, we're just gonna keep the ball rolling. Okay. Still didn't find that timestamp. It did not like that. Start time. Let's make sure that I've named them the same. I'm gonna do a complete message object for that one. We'll just drop another debug. How many debug nodes do we need? Love them. Make your life easier. Is it easier? Okay. Complete message object. So the topic is still not populating that timestamp. That's the issue. And this template node should be start time. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe it is payload start time. Yeah, that was it. Right now, basically what I've done is I have, how long did I, it said 2 minutes. I have been working on taking my shift schedule, so I know what the start time and end time is for the most recent time frame at which we started or ended. Since we know it's 12-hour shifts, we've kind of hard-coded that. There's things in here that would probably need to like point out assumptions so that, let's say, somebody can fix this up a little bit better for their plant facility, but we made the assumption that we're doing 12-hour shifts. And what I want to do is know when my most recent start time was. And to do that, I have basically created a timestamp. We set a message topic, so we're getting the most recent start time from this particular command here. We can see this right here, and I'm going to clear this out. So it returns to me an object with the start time, the team that is being run, which is, let's say, shift A, or shift, first shift, and then the end time for that particular shift. So I've created that shift schedule. We've updated the shift schedule, or the database, with an Excel file that goes out through the end of the month for potential shift schedules. And then what you would do is, if you ever change the schedule, you would just manually go in, update it, and then drop that information in. And really, you probably should be just doing 2 months in advance at most. And anytime you have to update it, and then move on. So we've got availability. And we've set our message topic to the shift schedule, so we're capturing that same command that we saw just before. So we return start time, end time, and then which shift is running through this call. And then what we're then wanting to do is, I really think I just messed up here. And I think I can call this just as is. We're going to try that one more time. I'm not going to delete anything because it might just actually be wrong. But I can go payload here, start time, deploy. And so when I run this, okay, it does not like that at all. So one thing to note is we can't do that. So we'll delete that. We'll wire back in our template node, and we'll what does that object array look like anyways? So I don't like the structure of that. I wish I could. Oh well. We're gonna do another set. We'll say this here to say end time And basically, I'm just trying to save that data into team. All right, so what I had been doing is my previous one was just looking over the past 3 days as well, and what we really need to do is just kind of look at our current uptime availability for the current shift, not necessarily for the past X amount of days. Because really you only care about the current shift, and if you think about it from OEE standpoint, we can make another dashboard that says, hey, well, let's look at yesterday or the previous shift schedules, and we can have that all built out here. And then, you know, these can all be converted to however you want, but really just kind of need that like diagram document, you know, view here. So, all right, let's clean this up because this is ugly. We don't need these debug nodes anymore. And delete that one, don't need that message topic. We do have to fix this function, it is wrong, but for now, I'm not too worried about it. But I've got a note there that says that. And just gonna kind of clean this up. Maybe we'll nest that right there. And now, really need to do and copy this all for machine 2. And I think the easiest way potentially to do it is just redo the whole thing and just come in here and say select start time. That's not it. Not it. And where machine ID is machine 2. And then what we're going to do is instead of saying machine 1 here, we're going to say machine 2. This one is going to be availability. And I'm going to just export this real quick and make a copy of it. Because theory, all we have to do is deploy, and now we have machine 1, machine 2. We are not getting uptime. Actually, we are. I just need to adjust it. So coming over here to dashboards, uptime, focus. Okay, that's that one. So that needs to go up to this spot, deploy. And now we can see our percentage uptime for these two machines. Real simple. We got essentially this is a percentage down here. What's our percentage? And this is kind of part of our OEE. We have not taken account into downtime calculations. That is something we need to incorporate. But progress, one step at a time. This is the grind, and then you know, it's all part of it. How am I sounding today, by the way? Am I sounding all right? If you're still there, Bald Geek. So it's the same mic. I think it's because my face is moving around too much. So what I might do is change something real quick, and so it has more directionality. Be right back. All right, so now I should be able to talk from any angle. And I do have this thing called Crisp that kind of cleans up any background, anything from like barking dogs to crying babies, both of which I have. Not crying right now, but they do hang around sometimes. So, all right, cool. So let's think about what we want to work on now. Let me look at our to-do list. And again, I'm going off. You might see me kind of just mute the mic for a second. I've just got a little bit of cold, so I'm clearing my throat. Awesome. Glad to hear the music is good. All right. So, we've kind of done availability, and really what we need to do is think about downtime reasons and create kind of like a downtime trying to think about where I would want to do that, because if unexpected downtime, let's say something like the machine breaks, we'd want to be able to allow the operators to say, hey, downtime event, not my fault, the machine broke, and I always forget how is scheduled downtime accounted for, but still OEE overall. Yeah, so really we've actually just been doing performance. Whoops. So my bad. Availability takes into account unplanned and planned stops, and availability scored of 100%. So that means his machine was always running during. No, we've been doing availability because we've been taking account typical stopping from the system. So really, we've accounted for unplanned downtime, which is just issues. So what we really need to do is create a planned downtime time frame. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna create another spreadsheet, and it's gonna be similar to the one we've got here. And this is, instead of being shift schedule, this is gonna be planned downtime. I think that's gonna be an appropriate way to do it, and it'll be done the same way. And so we'll come over to our program, and we're going to rename this one. We'll say send shift. Actually, we'll do it lowercase, send shift with camel case. And then we're going to create a new file, and it's going to be called oh, cool. Glad you like it. This is, we're having fun. We're trying to stay a little bit more focused today, but yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. And I'm also now seeing, finally, it's up in the top right-hand corner of my screen, your chat. So as you see people, there's going to be people from different streaming services. I won't really name them because they usually don't like that. But yeah, it's here. So what we're going to do, we got shift schedule, planned, we'll call planned downtime. .csv, and we'll just copy this one just to get us a starting point. Save it. All right, sorry about that. So we got planned downtime. We're gonna just go ahead and open this up. That's not what I'm gonna do. Oh, come on. just give me this as a number. There we go. Number. And let's get rid of these significant digits. Okay. And what we need to call, we'll call it start down and end down. And instead of shift, what we'll do is we'll have machine ID. Let me make sure that I'm naming that the same convention as in our database, because we just need to make things as consistent as possible. So we've got line 1, machine ID, except for D is lowercase. All right. And let me just double check that real quick. We've got 1 and 2 machine IDs, so that's perfect. And I'm gonna come over here to this shift schedule. Got the sheet over here. And what we're gonna do is just kind of copy this over. Make sure. See, we got kids in the background, but I hope you guys don't hear it. So, sheet. Don't know how this is going to save, just because it is a CSV file. It usually doesn't like when you have multiple sheets in the CSV file, so we'll have to figure out what that does later. And just copy this over here. What am I doing over here? I forget. So basically, I was doing some math basically to convert this over into epoch time. Perfect. That's what I was doing. Okay. Let's just go ahead and copy that math real quick. Ooh. G. Okay, that was weird. Yes, I'm not lazy. F2. And then it still got mad at me. Okay. And then I believe this one is H2. What is going on? Some weird Excel stuff going on here. Good. Better. Okay. Excuse me. So, really, it should be start downtime. Let's copy these titles over. Okay. And so, what we'll do is we'll say we have downtime. Today is, right now it's 12 at, we'll say we had downtime this morning till 1 p.m. Eastern. Today's the 7th. And we'll say 7 a.m. We'll copy this till this time. And we'll say 1:30. Yeah. And really what I need now is the total time that it was down. This is gonna hurt my head for a little bit. Not this part right now, but the part that we're gonna get to. Sorry if I'm getting a little close to the mic, but so we've got some planned downtimes here. It's down. Pull this machine ID and this equals this. And we'll say we'll have a planned downtime in the future of 8 p.m. until, let's say, 8:30. Do you track what I'm kind of doing here? Basically, I'm getting my total downtime, so then I can offset it from my total time that I was not running. But my brain is hurting now of how I'm gonna write that SQL query. It's basically because I've got to pull my total downtime sheet, and then I have to overlay and say, when's this downtime associated to my current shift schedule that I'm calculating on? And if so, how much of that is downtime? So really, I might not even be able to use this total downtime because it's not going to be helpful, which is fine, because I need to know when the start of the downtime was. And so really, it'd be better for me to say I'm going to start this at 6:30, which is before the shift schedule starts, and then halfway through the shift schedule, because if I can calculate that, then I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and delete this because I'm not going to be able to use that here. And I don't want to do any calculations more than I need to right here, because I'd rather it be more dynamic inside of Node-RED. So copy this, paste this, make sure you paste the values only, and we're gonna change this. I'm gonna see if I can just go down a ways. Let's call it number. Do this again. I think I know what I can do. Make this easier. We'll just do the paint. Sorry about that. Check my messages just real quick. All right. So let's look at this. Got to copy this file. This is our file that we're going to basically send for. We're going to say send downtime. I don't feel like making it. I'm just rather use a different endpoint. I'm going to just call it downtime. And really need to put some comments in here. It says update the location of your file. Update the location or the IP address and port of your node red instance. Okay. So now we need to come over here. This is our shift schedule API ingest. So, we're just gonna change this one to CSV API ingest. API ingest. What do we call this one over here? Did we just call it files? Really should change this one to something different. Change that real quick. Make sure I'm in the right instance. I think I got a double slash there. Save it. And deploy it. Let's make sure this one still works. And this one is send shift now. Send shift. Okay, it worked. Good. Now, let's get rid. Actually, we won't get rid of it. We're just gonna lower this down here. We're gonna call this one downtime. Post. We need to make a new table now. Come on, deeper. Okay. Table. Create new table. We're gonna call this downtime. And we've got a column. Start now. It's gonna be big int. This is gonna be machine ID. This is going to be, and then last one we have end down, and that's going to be big int as well. And let's save, persist, and now we have downtime, quality, shift schedule, line. Perfect. We're gonna truncate now. Downtime. And we're gonna pass in that data. And so first thing we do is we clear out the table, because we want to write over the table and replace it with new information. So if, let's say, shift schedules changes or downtime changes events, you don't have to do any fancy. You can change this again later, however you want to run it. I'm keeping it simple for now. But again, getting started. We're not trying to make this perfect OEE platform. We're trying to create a platform for people that have never really dabbled in OEE, and we don't need to get into those huge complexities just yet. We'll save those for later. So, I'm gonna take a snapshot of this, by the way, real quick. Slice. We're gonna say lots of progress So what did we do? We did downtime, shift, schedule. Just create a snapshot of it so we don't lose it. If for some reason something happens, got it backed up. Maybe we mess everything up. It's kind of just like your standard keep track of things, make a push or something like that every once in a while. Git commit or something like that. Alright. So set message payload. That should be the same. That's the same. String CSV file. We gotta change this now. See me start down. Machine ID end down. Leave that. And now we're gonna template this. We're gonna call this start down. Machine ID and down. Save that. Set message topic. This is probably not going to work the first time, but that's fine. Start down. Machine ID. Down. All right. Should we see if it works? How confident do we feel? Okay, I got those debugs. Do we have some just random junk coming in here anymore? No. Okay. Excuse me, what's that? Kids in schools should bring everything home with them. You send this file. Downtime. Save. All right. Okay. Just copy this. It's saying my file name might be wrong. And downtime. Yep, that's what it was. Okay. Cool. Cool. We see two results. That's over here. Object. I don't know if that's right, but let's just go over here to dbeaver. And let's look at the... there should be two though, right? Start down, end down, and we should see okay. That's slightly weird. So it's got the first. Its times don't even match. Wait. That's weird. Let's just go through this one more time. So, truncate the table. Which table are we truncating? Table downtime. Beautiful, beautiful. Payload done. Let's do this one and see what we get. Okay. So we have so it's got the first one, but the first one doesn't even match. Okay. Let's see if we got something going squirrely. Did I not save this? I didn't save it. That's now I feel a little dumb. Little dumb. So now when I go over to the beaver, refresh it. There we go. All's well. I'm not gonna do a happy dance for that one. That was not worth a happy dance. Okay. So now we have created a shift schedule, and we have the time at which we started the shift, and we've gotten how we've been doing over that shift over time since the beginning of the shift. Now we need to account for downtime and say, you know what? Nobody said OEE was easy. Nobody said it was easy. Because now I got to think about is like there's gonna be some kind of cases where I'm gonna be making product while the machine is down. Do I count that product? I think I have to assume I'm counting that product. I think I'm gonna put those in comments. So no comment. We'll just drop this comment here. Start map, and then we'll just create a new one called assumptions. Assumptions. Because we just have to make some assumptions, and then when people change it for their environment. So we will count product made during downtime events. So this can, in theory, could give them a really good efficiency of, like, they blew their productivity out of the water, because this is where it starts getting like the assumptions. So performance, because with performance you need to take in downtime, plan downtime as well. During the time that you were running, how well did you make the parts that you did? So during the time that okay, so maybe then I just don't even worry about that in performance. So when we were running, during the time we were running, I can just say, forget about those before. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that'll be a different assumption, and we'll write that one down because we want to make sure that we account for, so nobody can like say, you know what, we're gonna say we're doing planned downtime, and then I'm gonna make a whole bunch of parts before. Yeah, you gotta make assumptions. Gotta figure out how people cheat the system. Okay, we got an hour, 20 minutes left. Let's keep going. We'll count product made during downtime events. Really, in our availability, we're not actually paying attention to performance. So it's really a bad assumption. We don't even care. Don't care. We're not counting parts. We're counting uptime. So just leave that there. Okay. All right. Now, current. What if? Oh, 7 dot current things. Current. We'll just say current. We are. We are calculating availability. Okay. Does that look on my screen if I Here we go. Cool. All right. Calculating availability. And this has taken some time. I'd expected that though. All right. So, you know, that's just clearing things out before a run, and that's what that's doing. It's just clearing out a chart. Okay. So, timestamp. We're saying let me group these, just make it look a little bit better. So then we can also just move them as a group. Group. Machine 1. Save it. Alright, so let's talk about this real quick. This is shift schedules. So let's put some comments in here. We'll just call this shift schedule. We really need to start organizing. Maybe it should go right here. Notes. Done. And then, so we have shift schedule that's done here. And then this one here is productivity, grab, line, stats, uptime, kind of basically. Okay. So really what I need to do is augment my shift schedule. So I have my shift schedule and then I have my downtime. And then from there, what I need to do is figure out when that start time is. Oh, but it's not start time, and it's not always going to be the start time and end time. Does it matter? It does matter when you apply this. So we're gonna do downtime in the middle of your to-dos. We also have to-dos. Let's have another comment called to-do list. To-do. We need to adjust the function to reflect correct time calculations. So right now, I'm not too worried about there are some bugs in that I need to fix because I don't think it's working 100%. It needs to be validated. The next one, what we need to do is essentially we need to apply downtime, planned downtime. Why does this hurt my brain so much? What if I just get the data in and just bring it in? And worry about that later. I think I'm gonna do that. So we're gonna adjust some stuff. Go to the copy. We're gonna move this down here. Just say that so we know what it's doing. Your chart. And what I now need to do is basically, so we've got production, and I need to essentially take the same template that we've got here. I think that's gonna go up here though. And then we're not gonna be able to output any of these databases. Always output to payload. We're gonna have to switch that around. Okay, so we already have to switch that around because we're gonna be writing over payload if we do another one of these. Even though it didn't matter here, really need to change this into like schedule. Oop. Start time. Schedule end time. Schedule team. So then we're saving those and so they won't be written over. And then this one, it needs to be schedule. Schedule. We're not using it. We're not worried about that. Okay, cool. Sorry for that. I should have gone mute. Okay. So now we can. How long are we gonna have? Maybe we'll do it based off of downtime. Do I have any downtimes? Now, we might have to do downtimes. I think for now, what we're going to have to do is saying you're going to have to set up your shift scheduled. If you're going to be down, you need to do those down times only at the shift scheduled rate. So like if you're down for 30 minutes or you're down for half the shift schedule, it's just going to make the calculation a whole lot easier. People are going to follow it. It's not going to be overly complex. It's a little bit more of a pain for somebody that has to like key this information in, but I think that's something that can be automated in some other tool. So let's take a stab back over to shift schedule, not shift schedule, downtime. And downtime. And we'll look at this and really you should have this and you shouldn't do it between, so you'd say 6:30 to this time and this would be till 7 and the start of that shift. And then you'd say, okay, that's what we're just gonna have to do for now. I know it's not really beautiful, it's not as amazing as we'd hoped, but it's gonna be better. Yeah, we'll replace. So then you would say, okay, you would have to make sure that you're like, okay, so if you have 30 minutes before the downtime, between the shifts, if people came in, let's say an hour later, maybe that's what we'll do. Say people leave an hour early, and then the next crew doesn't get there till an hour later, and that's the planned downtime. So you give the, let's say, maintenance 2 hours to work on something, and you move on. Do I love this? No. But am I okay with it right now? Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. Again, it's more of just a pain on setting up this table. And you could automate this process of moving this in. Okay, that's what I should do. I'll do that later. That's not right now. That's future. That's V2. V2. Version 2. Let's just get version 1 done. Because that's really how you'd want it to look. You would say, okay, the operator, whoever's going to be working on the shift schedule, they would basically say that to block off the times in which machines aren't running. And then in that ingest process, then you would section it out and then kind of build out that table of saying like exactly what we've done here. We've done it manually. You could easily do it in that, bring that in. I'm not going to do that right now. That's going to take a lot of boring me mentally just banging my head against it, and probably get somebody from my team that's going to be like, oh yeah, I can write that in like 3 minutes, which would take me probably 30 minutes or an hour. So we'll just stick with us and we'll worry about version 2 later. All right, so send downtime. Check dbeaver. Cool. Beautiful. Love it. So now when I get the shift schedule, I'm going to say, do I have downtime within this window in my schedule? And I can be like, yeah, we do. So similar to what we've done right here, I'm going to just copy this, pop this up here. I think it's going to go like, we'll just make the shift schedule line. That's, and then drop this here and select from, and we'll call this downtime. Where, what if I have 2 downtimes in one event? We'll just assume 1 downtime event right now. That's an assumption. We realize that's a problem. Just go with 1 right now and mark these down and say, okay, we'll fix this later. We're machine ID is 1. Ooh, let's just do it for 2 for right now because that's what we've got. Value, so schedule start time. Perfect. And done. And then I want to put a change rule in here so I save this new. Actually, what we'll do is just copy that one. That has basically a lot of the same structure that I'm going to be needing. And it's going to be payload dot downtime. Not down. Because again, there might be multiple downtimes in a shift. It could be in the beginning, but really most people shouldn't be scheduling. If somebody's getting to the point where they're gonna be scheduling downtimes, they're not gonna be doing this like a lot, because that would be rough if they're having like multiple downtimes, especially scheduling downtimes. Just take the whole day off. You're gonna be wasting a lot more of your employees' times. But again, this is our assumption, and it might cause problems for somebody down the line. And if it does cause them problems, then that's something that we can work together or something like that. Maybe that's professional services or who knows, whatever. And so now I'm going to drop a debug right here because I do want to see. We will need to see the full message payload because that is storing that not in message.payload.blah. It's going to be saving it in message.schedule.blah. So okay, so I didn't like that already. Schedule start time. Isn't that what I call that? Schedule.start time. So what's my error? Let's see what it says. It's not getting me. We'll just dump this debug too, even though it's gonna be noisy later. Okay. Did I break something? Error bad error field. Name line 1 data. So this isn't line 1 data. This one is downtime. Not that that matters. And this template select star from downtime, where machine ID is 2 and not timestamp. Not timestamp, start downtime. Start down. Did I make that right one? Yeah. Yay. Oh, no wonder I didn't see any debugs because I was in the right. Okay. So schedule object start. Schedule object start and team. Wait. Pulling that in as a string. Message. Means this one up here is doing the exact same thing. can technically... Alright. I really have to fix this one, right? Let's talk about the assumptions real quick. Need to coordinate the downtime with... Need to coordinate the downtime with the progress of production. So if I already know I have downtime, I need to take that from my overall, but I don't need to start taking it from my overall until I know I've started that downtime. So there's still, it's not gonna be perfect, but it'll be a little bit better. We'll worry about that in a little bit. Okay. So in theory, really make it simple and do something along the lines of, so I got my in time, in down, start down, do the math behind those and just add it to stop time. Or subtract it from stop time because we're making a... Yeah, that would be really bad, but we're going to do it for right now. So, we know we're having a downtime. We're going to just basically say... minus message schedule start down. So, and what it's doing is basically offsetting the stop time and saying, you know what, you're good. Actually, I don't want to do it here. Let's cancel that. Where I would want to do it is in percentage, because I still need to know what my total downtime is. But in this particular case, where I say message payload value, oh, what does that say like that? Round. See what this says. 62. Been there before that. So then I have two objects running time. And the reason why I've got it that way is because that's the structure of that. So because that's the structure I need for it to go into my charts. What's up, Nader? Nader. Object running time. And so really at this point in time, then need to subtract message dot schedule dot we said that was in time. And down. And ideally doing this, you would, like I said, just have it so it would be synchronized. So when the downtime started is when you start bringing in. Hey, how's it going? It doesn't like it because I'm missing. Probably close bracket here. So now, so this makes sense. Okay. The reason why I have 120% uptime is because I haven't actually technically had any downtime either. Technically, so my downtime is misrepresented in this, but we're working. These are examples of when dropping downtime into the system in which it's incorrect. And really, yeah, uptime percentage. Let's change that to uptime percentage too. That's over here. See if that breaks anything. So I come over here. Oop. That's didn't do anything. Let's see if run it quick. Refresh it. So that wasn't the one I need to change, so we'll just keep that as uptime because I don't want that to break something. And I bet you it's just right here. I'm percentage. Beautiful. Done. Deploy. So now we have our uptime percentage based off of our shift schedule. Again, still need to fix my running time. You know what? That's in the wrong units as well. So we should probably have that in maybe minutes. Minutes uptime. Hours uptime. Probably hours. I think hours is probably better. So let's do that. All right. Actually, I'm pulling that function right there, so that's the data I want right there for debug node. So let's capture that real quick. Excuse me. Did I turn it off? Yep. Look at that. Okay. So I think if I just do this, that's going to represent. Oh. That seems more wrong. It went okay, could be 10 hours. Oh yeah, one of my first projects was using the ESP8266. To send data from ESP8266, I like to create a log of errors to improve preventative maintenance. Can I achieve this using Node-RED to store data? Okay, so the question that I have is what errors are you logging? Logging errors from the ESP8266, or are you logging errors from some other system? Can you elaborate there? Because the answer is yes. Your biggest issue that you will run into, and I might be able to dig up this project, is a lot of the times you're going to have to attach to some wireless network that is like enterprise networking, depending on if it's like a radius server or some other system. I did it in the past, probably about a couple years ago, and I had to get a specific token so that I could access the radius server, so that I could send data from the ESP8266. And I did that in Arduino, and then sent that data to Node-RED via MQTT. That's probably going to be your best bet, is really send it to an MQTT broker. And then from there, once you got in the broker, then you can do whatever with it, because you're not going to be able to put Node-RED on the ESP8266. Why are you choosing an ESP8266, if you don't mind me asking? You just need it wirelessly, or do you have power? Can you tell me a little more context there? Because I might be able to dig up that project and send it over to you. Okay. Well, if you find out some information about it, let me know. So, and I also apologize, like, when Facebook streaming, it, no matter if I use copyright-free music, a lot of the times it'll just cut it out. So, I don't know if I'll be on Facebook too much longer, because I am using, for example, today I'm using stuff that's like open to use for streaming. And I just gotta have some background music, and this is the type of music I listen to when I work. Just no talking or anything like that, or singing, I should say. Bothers me about these calculations here, about this runtime stop time calculation. and where we currently are. Because that bothers me. Because that seems not right. Which probably goes back to my function not being right either. But the total time, let's pull up that spreadsheet real quick. So equals do, 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 do. Three. Okay, so we had 1 hour of downtime, which is exactly what I would expect. So as I'm looking at this, I'm just not calculating time correctly, which is fine. That's something I do later. I just needed data to run through this, and I'll fix this function probably off stream, just because it's not fun, and I'm not good. And I'm not, it takes me time. All right, so what we've got to do here, and what I'm trying to do, is essentially, in my dashboard, I want to convert this to hours, and we're going to do that pretty quick and easy. Yeah, absolutely. PIC 18F. I'm imagining that's like a PIC microcontroller computing between the 8266 and the PIC is done through UART in the communication between the server. Mosquito and ESP uses MQTT. I want to transfer the error data as if the elevator malfunctions to a dashboard. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly a clear example of what I would do it for. So you obviously have power to the ESP8266, so it's not going to be too big of an issue. Imagine you have this all on a breadboard. I should just keep the chats up, I think. I had that set up. Oh, I also want to try my buffer save, so click that real quick to see if I saved my buffer. Oh yeah, there it goes. Stop replay buffer. Cool. That makes me happy. I figured it out. But yeah, transferring error data, if you have it in Mosquito, what type of database, or what type of, are you just wanting to put it on a dashboard, or what are you trying to do with that data? Are you trying to save it or visualize it like an error log? Because something like errors and things like that, I'd probably send that over to Splunk. But again, Splunk's, you have to pay for Splunk. If you're trying to keep this project cheap, you might want to do something like Elk Stack, specifically for logs. And if you don't want to do that, just a MongoDB, just because your structure, especially if you're using a lot of structure, you want to be able to search it later. MongoDB is going to be basically your good starting point. MongoDB though, I don't like the query language, and that's why most people like Splunk at the end of the day. Or simply put, you could just write a whole new log file that you can search upon later. Save it locally to Node-RED and happy to go, and just create a new file after it fills up. The world is your oyster. Alright, what do I have to convert? So hours is this. But actually I need to divide it by yes. We're just gonna do this pretty straightforward and dumb. So running time equals do the same thing for stop time. Should just run this once. Divide, not subtract. Divide, not subtract. Done. Deploy. Run it. All right, cool. So now we have it in hours. Like that much better. Absolutely. Yeah. Store it. I would probably go with MongoDB depending on the structure, because strings, like, yeah, drop it in MongoDB. And to do that, like, for example, you would just have an MQTT in, drop that there, tie into your broker, put all the credentials there. Go to Palette Manager. And I just choose MongoDB free. Save it locally. I would probably put it in like a container somewhere, maybe on a server, because you're really not going to be making up that much data. Yeah, and then basically, I'm not going to install this one, but I'd probably pick one that's maybe one of the more recent ones. Somebody's been kind of doing some work on it. I think DB node for, let's see what this data information is. But yeah, drop it in there. You put like your query in, and then be able to search it back and then have that drop it into a visualization. If that's something you want to see, do I need to store the information on the server first before sending it to the table for display? No. You can just directly, okay, so then if you're not wanting to save it, you would do dashboard table. And I've not messed with the table, so you'd want to come over here and look at the properties associated to this, of how that data wants to be stored. Okay, nothing on that right now, but I've got a window open just for that. I'll drop the docs real quick in the chat for you. No, you don't have to store it. But if for some reason the your server restarted for some reason, you might lose some information just because you haven't stored it. If you really want to make it simple, you can store it in the local file on your Node-RED instance. But if we look at tables, here's just the structure that you would want to basically have it in. So column A, column B, column C, and you would have that an array of objects. And I imagine you're able to see. Trying to not cough in the. Looking at this though, it's event based, so MQTT is going to be bringing it in probably as a single object. So it'd be looking at like just this section of it. So you would be able to see the latest alert, but you wouldn't see all of your latest alerts. So you really want to save this in a table of some form. You could just save it to, let's say, a CSV file, and then let's say read that CSV file. So do something like this, and then save it as a comma separated. You might have to do some manipulation on that and just call it like, I don't know, error logs.csv. And then am I writing? I'm parsing. I don't want to write. Okay, that's what I want to do, not this. Write file. And then we say error log.csv and append to file. One of the things you'll have to worry about is just how many logs you're going to be sending. You might have to just kind of figure that out, because there is usually handling of log files so that they don't get too large or they make a new log file. and then you can do some kind of management there as well. To basically, you could say copy, after a certain number of days, copy file randomly generate, and so you store all of your log files, and then put it in a temp folder, and then after, make sure you just put it in the temp folder, and then after I think 30 days, they'll just be disregarded or discarded. So you can at least have the latest. Right. Okay. So in that particular case, I would do a stored in a MongoDB. That's going to be your best guess, because our best bet is, so you can either save it in MySQL, but with MongoDB, it doesn't matter the structure of which you're putting it in. So you do MQTT and drop it, always add, and then yeah, you could do like you could do this every single time it fires off, and then your query that you would do for your MongoDB says, I want to see how many times the door did not close in the past 24 hours, or let's say week, and then you can say, and you could then make it all like per table or per let's say per week, and you can make dashboards for all of this to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. But first you need to store all the data, and then you would then have a query, and the query would say, I want to look past, like, and let's say for example, I'd use ChatGPT for writing these queries as well. I want to write a MongoDB query that searches for the phrase, let's say door faulted on floor star for the last 7 days, and like boom, it's gonna basically spill it out for you. Here, let's just see if it does it. There you go. And so now your options, and so then you can say basically your options, you can say whether or not I want that to be floor 5 and whatever, and it writes it all out for you. So basically when you drop that DB query in, you'll do something like a function node, and you'll paste the contents of that to then query that database. And then once you get the results from that, then you'll spit it out to, let's say, a UI chart or whatever mechanisms you want to see. Build that out however you want. Does that sound in line with what you're kind of looking for? And maybe I should move my face so you can see this. But yeah, like for example, this would be the query that you do in MongoDB. It's probably gonna really get ugly. Cool. And I have forgotten what I was doing. Yeah. Oh yeah, I did do it. We're good, because I came over here and I see my dashboard. Excuse me. Probably did some SQL injection on somebody's restreams. Like, you can't do a query like that in your restream. All right. So now I want to propagate this to the rest of my system. So we're just going to come down here and we're just going to copy this whole thing, paste it down here. We're going to call this machine 2. And if I recall, the only thing I need to do is there's one query. It might be here. Nope. Yep. Machine 2. Done. And these are things that you can make as templates. yeah, seriously, use you for things like this, and this is when it really gets easy with things like MongoDB, is if you have a string that you know exactly how the string of information is you're looking for, it doesn't matter what the structure of the data is. Again, are you going to be running 10,000 servers and answering these questions that are just going to be for a lot of things? If you are, maybe MongoDB isn't the right route. But if you're doing this as kind of like a proof of concept, getting things going, showing value, seeing all the things you can do, kind of like a one-off, maybe a two-off, do it, absolutely. It's going to be a perfect way of doing it. And yeah, go from there. So you need to change this to machine 2. And then we will delete this, bring this up. Probably need to organize our dashboards. Because they're going to be a little weird, a little wonky. Uptime percentage, let's say focus. There we go. There, deploy. So now I broke it. Uptime percentage. Why is it 0? I wonder if that was 0 before. Value plus that. Ah. We're now in hours, and you divide this by 3,600. That's what epoch time was. Yeah, let's see if this works. You know, that's one thing that's great about things like this. Run it. Let's go. Literate tater chip. Okay, perfect. So now I need to do the same thing for the other one. Not that one. All right, cool. Good to go. I said machine 1, machine 2. Let me double check to make sure that my downtime machine ID is 1, and this machine ID should be 2. Machine ID is 2. That means I bet you this one right here. Say machine ID is 1. Perfect. So we didn't have any downtime on machine ID 1. So really. Okay, so why did uptime percentage now break? So let's put a debug node right here. there. So, just make sure it still doesn't say uptime percentage. And got full array of time. And then we've got a function here that basically converts it. Topic uptime. Actually, let's see this one is with the full complete message object. Should run. There we go. So, does it break because it doesn't have that instantiated? Probably would be my guess. So we need to come up here and say just do JSON. Should do number because it is a number, and it should be message start. It should be sit down. What do I call that? Start down. This will be end down. Ooh, capital D. This is going to be a number as well of 0. So I'm going to deploy this. And fix it. Okay, there we go. Fix it. Beautiful. Getting close to those streams. Do we have any questions? Anything else we can work on? Anything fun? I feel like we didn't get very far, but I know we did. We included downtime into our calculations. I really want to see this probably. I need to fix some things, but I'd really like to see percentage and being like a better view, almost like a bar or a pie chart. Let's see, I might talk to Joe, see about getting a different visualization. Say, hey, I can make this look ideal. He's our dashboard 2.0 developer. So another thing, make sure you're using dashboard 2.0 moving forward, just because some of the older visualization tools are being end of life, essentially. Like, I shouldn't say all of them, just there's the dashboards, the original one. It's kind of on life support right now. Let's take a snapshot of this real quick, so I've got a backup of it, and say running dashboard includes downtime, shift schedule, and what else do we have here? Do we include something else in there? We did downtime, shift schedule. Actually, gonna add a comment real quick. There. I think that was it. Includes shift schedule, downtime, and line stats. Set that as target. So every single time we reboot this, it's going to be going directly to this one. Awesome. Any questions? Was this fun? More to this content? Fill out the survey. Tell me more. I mean, if you want something like this, and we can do MongoDB, right, and then kind of build out that table if that's something that's cool. We can schedule in the future. And just say, hey, we got log files coming in. That's the biggest thing, is just getting the data to work with and manipulate. So, but yeah. Got about 15 minutes left of a normal streaming time. I don't know if I'm gonna stick that out. Maybe let's think about what we should do next time. So, would we say availability is done? Let's go back to our screen here. So, availability takes into account unplanned and planned stops. And availability scoring 100% means that it's always running during the planned production. Technically, you shouldn't be over 100%. But if you have planned downtime, what we should do is really titrate that planned downtime of the course of the shift. That's a good way of doing it. How far along are we during the shift? Okay, that's going to be next time. So we'll say tab A, I don't think I spelled that right. Titrate downtime over the course of the shift time. Okay, so we'll titrate. So let's say we have 3 hours of downtime. I don't really want to figure out when I'm going to start that downtime. There is ways to do it, and yes, that is a little bit more complicated than I think what we want right now. Maybe that's, again, V2, but what I can do is, let's say I have 1 hour of downtime, I can titrate. So if I take that total, I think it's like 3,600 seconds or milliseconds. And what I can do is, depending on what percentage through the shift I am, I can multiply that percentage of the shift that I'm in times the total downtime I'm expecting to see for this particular shift. So titrate. So what that means is, we'll say B multiply the shift completion time versus total planned downtime. Again, not perfect, but we're getting somewhere. We got to start somewhere, and then we can then move on from there. So that's to do. That's really part of this logic, and then basically what we'll do instead of logic, we'll say performance dashboard, and then quality dashboard. That's just really part of it. And then last but not the last and easy one is OEE dashboard. And then what we would then want to do from there is say hook connect to PLC to send this data. So like, I apologize, to send this data in. Can you see that? I'm gonna adjust that just a smidge. I realize that we're a little bit off the screen. Yeah, but I don't want to cover my beautiful. I'll just do like my face a little bit over here. There we go. All right. So that's gonna be our to-do list for next time. We'll titrate downtime over the course of the shift time, multiply the shift completion time versus total planned downtime. Next, we'll work on our performance dashboard. Performance is going to be, availability is kind of one of the harder ones, I think. Quality is pretty straightforward. How many good parts did you make versus bad parts? We'll want to make sure that we kind of make a way so that people can enter that information as it goes. That's really going to be pull something from like MQTT. Maybe that's what we'll do to leverage something like that. And again, it doesn't matter where this data sits. We just need it accessible. And so however you want to manage that, you can do that on your side of things. If you don't want to use MySQL, maybe you want to use a different database, have at it. You just might have to change up some of the queries potentially, and go from there. So we have performance. So we're gonna have to have rates, and what performances are is saying if I'm making pencils, I expect to make 30,000 pencils an hour, versus if I'm making pens, which is going to make about 20,000 pencils an hour, and I need to have those rates. And so then therefore I'll calculate how much time of my shift schedule I've been working on this particular product. And if we have, then we also have to have product scheduling. So let's write these down. So we need product schedule, I can't spell, so please don't hold it against me. If you want to correct me, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. It's just not my best thing that I'm good at. So product schedule, product rates, and because in the middle of a shift, you're gonna change products non-stop. It's gonna happen. You might even only do one product for 15 minutes or something like that. Now we're starting to get to the bottom of this. Awesome. I hope this has been fun for you guys. It's been fun for me. So that's performance. Product schedule, we're gonna need product rate. And it really depends on downtime as well. Planned downtime, we're gonna have to make sure you don't account for planned downtime. So we might end up solving the downtime problem that we have. We might be solving the downtime in availability in the process of solving the downtime for performance, because it's kind of necessary to do it that way. But we're making progress. We can go back and fix it. So we got performance, dashboard, product schedule. So we're going to need to create some data. I think if I recall correctly, you're not going to see this, but that's okay. I'm just looking on my side. Some notes that I've got. Operation lookup. All right, so when I came over here, let's look at these notes real quick. Part count. So what we can do, and this is why I'm saying that function node isn't working earlier, is that we will have part count. So one of the data points that come in from the PLC is going to be of state. Our map ID is 6 is going to be coming in. It says 6, and then our payload volume. And now let me come over here. So you'll see index, machine ID, product ID, and the message type. Message type associates to here, and message type of 6 here will then have behind it, let's say, a total parts made and since the last time it sent that message. And that can be sent on a certain time. So let's say, for example, you might send it every second, or you might send it every 5 minutes because you're going to be like, I only need the granularity to know that I made 30,000 rubber erasers in, let's say 1 hour. I don't need the granularity. Maybe you do, but you don't need. That might be a case where you're like, I don't need to know every single time I made 1. I need to know every single time I made, let's say, 100. So you're really going to define it however you want, and we're going to try to make it so it's going to can apply to any of those types of applications, because we want to make this universal as much as possible to make your life easier. Let's just see how no frames dropped. All right, so let me get back to this real quick. So part of our performance dashboard and our part count is actually going to be coming in through that same data ingest. So I might reach out to some of my team to help me create a better data gen for that, and we'll go from there. All right, any last questions? Thank you all for joining me today. Hope this was fun, and we will chat soon. Have a good day.